more than enough gravitas, I guess you could say, to say that this is a wonderful place to work. The sky is the limit here at Amazon, and it's just it's easy for me to recruit because I believe so much in what we do here at Amazon. So I do want to welcome you today to our presentation. I know your time is important, so we'll get through these slides here. You want to go to the next slide for me? All right. There are a couple of ways to apply here at Amazon. You can either text the phrase STL now to 77088 or to amazon.com/St. Louis hourly jobs. If you need assistance at any point throughout the process, you can go to amazon.com/candidate support. And if you need an accommodation, the candidate accommodations team is 888-435-9287. And that is open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Central Time. So next slide, please. If you're looking for any other opportunities, a lot of people do drop into, they see Amazon, they come in thinking it's going to be technical positions. I'm only hiring for the warehouse, but I also don't want to exclude anybody that's here that has a degree or maybe has the experience in a background of professional jobs. So the best way to go there is to go to amazon.jobs. You do everything from administrative support. You can all go all the way to systems, quality, and security engineering at the same time. So again, amazon.jobs is where you would want to go if you're looking for IT positions or if you're looking for software development positions, any of these types of positions that are up here on the screen. This slide, next slide, is going to tell us a little bit more about applying. I've got some tips to apply here. You're applying for the warehouse positions. Again, you can apply by texting STL now 4 to 77088 or visiting amazon.com/St. Louis hourly jobs. There is a difference between warehouse team member on that site and seasonal warehouse team member. If it's your seasonal warehouse team member, you'll get vision and dental insurance only. A warehouse team member does receive regular day one benefits. So what you want to do is at that site is review the previous steps before starting the application. I always encourage people to do that because it gives you what's going to come and what's going to happen, kind of prepares you mentally for the process here at Amazon. It's a very quick process, a very easy process to get through. We actually have people that drop in without even an appointment. We encourage people to do that as well. If you don't want to make an appointment for whatever reason, you don't know how to navigate the website, you're having a little bit of issues, you can always drop in at either one of our sites. We have one in St. Peter's at 4000 Premier Parkway. We also have one out here in Edwardsville, Illinois at 3931 Lakeview Corporate Drive. And those, if you do get through the application, you will see those sites in which you can come to either one of those. Now, after you're done with the application, you've chosen your shift and you set your appointment. You make sure you finish section 1 of your I-9 that is sent via email to you. It's very important to get done because we do get a backlog sometimes where people show up without having things done, and we just get so behind because we've got multiple people that don't have their I-9s done. So it's always best to just have your I-9 done, all of that pre-hire stuff done before coming to the appointment. It just makes a lot smoother sailing for everybody involved. And after you're done with the application in I-9, we ask that you bring original unexpired documents. Now, Illinois does have an extension right now. We are allowed to take Missouri documents, actually any document across the state or the nation that is expired, and you have 90 days then to bring your original unexpired document in from that point. There's a link down here. I know it's kind of long, so I just always say do a Google search for USCIS acceptable, and then that first thing that pops up there will give you an idea of what to bring. Basically, a passport takes care of your work identification and your work eligibility. Otherwise, if you present like a driver's license or a photo ID, you would have to present either a social security card or birth certificate in addition to that. And please be on time for your appointment. I know that's kind of common sense, but it really causes a lot of issues when we do get backups because people are coming late for their appointments. So I would just ask you to be on time. I'm not asking you to be early, but just asking you to kind of be on time for your appointment. So if you choose something from 11 to 11:30, if you could please be here at 11, that makes things a lot easier because it is about a 30-minute appointment that we have. Next slide, please. Now we get into the fun stuff. Why Amazon? Well, our mission is always to be Earth's most customer-centric company, and that's really what unites all of us here at Amazon, whether we're on a team, whether we're on a recruiting team, whether we're on a software development team, whether we're on an IT team, whatever team it might be, whatever geography we might be in, all of us have a mission to delight our customers and make their lives easier, and that's one innovative product, service, and idea at a time. And together we create and build as well. There have been all kinds of opportunities for people to get out there and to ask your manager, can I get a project assigned to me? I've noticed that something here is not running quite right. We've got a backlog here at this point of our process. Would you put me in charge of maybe thinking about some ways in which we can change this? And Amazon jumps to those opportunities. We always consider it day one at Amazon, which means that we're always working to get better. We're always working to strive harder. We're always working to set new standards and new bars. So please don't be silent about things. If you see something that you think can change or get better, approach your manager with that. That's what we do here at Amazon. We're encouraged to create and build here that culture at Amazon. We do take ownership for whatever we do, whether we're developing new technology, whether we're launching a new fulfillment center. Just had a new one open in Sauget, Illinois. In fact, it's a global specialty fulfillment center in which they're trying to get the products out of the door within 2 hours, and then certainly they want to do it overnight to the customer. In fact, 3 of the 4 things I've ordered in the past 3 weeks have come the very next day. But I believe eventually we're trying to get to the same day delivery. And that's a tall order to do, but it's something that we want because we've heard that from our customers over and over again, that we would like to see same day delivery. So we're trying that out. All the orders come to life here at Amazon. We're supported by innovative world-class technologies such as our robotics system. Our global network of FCs, delivery stations, drivers, and shopper teams are dedicated to supporting customers worldwide. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the benefits of being an Amazon employee, they don't stop at just collaborating with great people. It's not just about being on a great team or having a great place to work. We do have a full range of benefits to regular full-time U.S. employees, as well as eligible family members, including domestic partners and their children. You see on the right there, you see medical coverage, 401k investment, time off options, employee assistance. There is a wealth of benefits, even hidden benefits that you have to fish for, ask for, and we've got them here at Amazon. And I'm more than happy to explore that with you or to tell you about those benefits. I actually have pet insurance through the ASPCA at a discount because of Amazon. I've rented cars at a discount because of Amazon. You can get movie tickets at a discount because of Amazon. So just those little tiny things that really add up to a lot of savings and a lot of good things here for us here at Amazon. My 401k is going great. A little bit of a downturn recently, but it's going really well. And so those things are just, they're so important, not just for the now, but also for the future. And Amazon offers those types of things. We also have a group legal department in which you can just pay a small fee. I think it's $5 every paycheck, to where I have access to a network of lawyers, everything from divorce to car accidents, to personal property damage, whatever it might be. There's lawyers available, and they are literally just a phone call away or an email away, and they become your lawyer, and you don't have to pay hardly anything out of pocket. In fact, I was unfairly pulled over for a traffic ticket not too long ago, and I utilized our group legal assistance, and I didn't have to pay anything to get that ticket dismissed. So it's a great perk there for Amazon as well. Next slide, please. Growth at Amazon is so important because you can grow at Amazon if you demonstrate a positive work environment and leadership skills. If you contribute to that positive work environment, you have excellent job performance and productivity, quality, safety, and attendance, and you have a great commitment to a culture of safety. You can definitely grow at Amazon. I have seen it. My teammates, some of my teammates have actually come from the floor. They're now in workforce staffing doing the recruiting like today. And so they've come from the warehouse floor. They've made it to from an L1, what we call an L1. They've gone from that to an L4, which is a huge jump as far as the levels here at Amazon. So they demonstrated that positive work attitude. They demonstrated that excellent job performance. They demonstrated that safety, and that's what got them ahead here at Amazon. Next slide, please. So we really want you to advance your career here at Amazon too. We really strive to maintain an environment where people can learn, adapt, and excel here at Amazon. And Amazon believes that everyone should have the opportunity to learn new skills and build their career, whether that means at Amazon or elsewhere. So our career choice program prepays 95% of tuition and fees to earn certificates and associate degrees. And good news, I just got an email not too long ago. The company now prepays 100% of tuition and fees. So you can go up to a certain amount, they pay 100%. That's not a reimbursement program. You don't have to pay first and then get reimbursed by Amazon later. They will actually pay your school directly. So there is literally no money out of your pocket. That covers books, it covers a multitude of things as well. So you get that 100% tuition. One of the things that people ask me too is that, do I have to study something that benefits Amazon directly? And the answer is no. If you want to go into nursing, for example, and Amazon does not have nurses in the system or in the network, we will still pay for that tuition. And the reason why is because even if you take 4 years to get a degree and then leave Amazon, we've still done something to aid you in your career, and we're very proud of that opportunity. So that's why we do that. Even if you're going to go in a career that doesn't directly benefit us, we will still pay for that as well. Career skills is one way to be able to get into technical jobs. And so if you want to say, we've got an Amazon Technical Academy here, it's a 3-month, very intensive program of just getting into the program. And then once you get into the program, it's a 9-month program of really intensive study of software developing engineer. I've actually gone through the training portion, haven't made it into the actual class yet, but I will say to you that I'm so much better at software development than I ever was before. And I had literally no experience in software development. There's also an Associate to Tech program. So regardless of previous IT experience, we'll pay for a 90-day program. It's a fully paid 90-day program training you in IT technician roles, and we pay for your A+ certification test, which is also a widely recognized certification. Next slide, please. Affinity Networks. We've actually added one affinity group. We now have 13 affinity groups, but these are a sample of our affinity networks here. Everything from warriors at Amazon, that is our veterans, all the way to people with disabilities, all the way to the Black Employee Network, Latinos at Amazon, women in finance. All of these different affinity networks, Glamazon, they're all designed for people to have a sense of community here at Amazon, to get together, to be able to share success, to share things that might need to be improved. If enough people get together, obviously there is an issue, so they can go to their management and say, hey, we as a group have come up with this idea to try to help people in this particular affinity group advance in the company. And Amazon always is listening to that. They're always willing to hear that, and always willing to take those lessons, take them to the higher ups, and then get those things changed for the sake of their employees. So they have executive and company sponsorship. And they play an important role in building these internal networks for creating a community, advising Amazon business units, leading in service projects, and reaching out to communities where Amazonians live and work. So you have an opportunity not only to be part of this network, but then to go out into the community and try to get others into your community as well here at Amazon. Next slide, please. Safety is a very important thing. The health and safety of our employees and contractors around the world continues to be our top priority as we face the challenges associated with COVID-19. I wish in 2022 we weren't still talking about COVID-19, but unfortunately it is a fact of life. Now, one of the things on the screen that we don't do right now is check temperature. We have actually eliminated the checking the temperature when you first arrive, but all the other things on the screen are important for us. We do practice social distancing. We provide masks, we provide gloves, we clean every 2 hours, and we disinfect every 2 hours or after each candidate, whichever comes first. Or if we know that somebody has sneezed, somebody has coughed, whatever it might be, then we obviously disinfect that area. We're always consulting with medical experts to ensure we're doing all that we can to keep our teams healthy. Next slide, please. So we have fulfillment centers here. That's where you select, pack, and ship customer orders. You interact with innovative technology daily at a fulfillment center. We have sortation centers, which are the first stop on the journey from the warehouse. You'll be up on your feet moving and sorting packages between trucks. We have delivery stations as well, and our delivery stations are the final stop before an order heads out for delivery to the customer's door. So basically what happens is fulfillment center fulfills the box. They fill the box with the items that the customer has ordered. They send them to a sortation center, which then separates them by zip code. Then they go to a delivery station, which that zip code is further reduced down to very neighborhoods, and the routes are created. And then Prime Now is also what we call the Global Specialty Fulfillment Center that just opened up in Sauget. And that's working with a small team to select and pack orders and get items ready for delivery. It says here in an hour. Our node right now is overnight, but I think eventually we're going to try to get down to an hour delivery within 1 hour. Next slide, please. We can skip this because there aren't any on this screen that we're hiring for right now. And fulfillment centers. So this is basically kind of an in-depth look at a fulfillment center. So you select, you pack, you ship customer orders. And if you like that fast-paced physical position that gets you up and moving, it really helps to bring orders to life. You can work a set full-time schedule here. Shift options do include overnight and days, and usually at least one weekend day. Now, if you know of anybody, or if you yourself are a student or are part of the military, Amazon will always work around your schedule. So even if you have a full-time 40-hour-a-week job and you have a class that you're taking and it conflicts with part of your schedule, go to HR, let them know, hey, I'm a student, here's the proof of my class. They will operate around your schedule, because Amazon values scheduling, and they value students, they value military just so much. And there's so much love there for our men and women who have served our armed forces, for those that are going to college, those are in school. There is a lot of love. And those are the two things in which Amazon will always move around your schedule for, is being a student or being in the military. So you work with warehouses that hold anything you can order at Amazon.com. Fulfillment associates interact with innovative technology daily. Robots can bring you the products directly to you. Some positions you don't have to even move. You just stand there and a robot will bring you the products. And we have benefits starting on day one for regular full-time employees as well. Next slide, please. So delivery stations are the final stop before an order heads out to the delivery to the customer's door. So this is where you're sorting, scanning, you're loading customer orders to fulfill the same day and 2-day shipping delivery time. We have part-time and flexible schedules with delivery stations, to where you have flexible means you choose your own shift. It's not like you hear with other employers in which they say, well, we have flexible schedules, but it means that you have to flex to us. Here at Amazon, when you choose a position that has a flexible schedule, it truly is a flexible schedule. You get to go in after every week and you get to pick your own shift for the next week. Anytime, any shift, whatever you want. That part-time and flexible schedule is available to you. Flex time, you might have to shift up during busy times or shift down by 1 hour. I can tell you, if you're working a 5-hour shift, you might have to work 6 hours on particular days, especially around Christmas time. But very rarely at Amazon do you lose an hour and have to only work 4 hours and not get your 5 hours here at Amazon. Now, assigned areas in the building change daily and during your shift as well. So you're trained and cross-trained on every aspect of the building, just so that you can work at any position in the building. Next slide, please. So our hiring process is very easy. We have a job application and preview. Your online application consists of providing some information about yourself, completing an online assessment, and actually, in all honesty, I haven't seen people having to complete an online assessment in the last couple of weeks, and selecting your preferred shift. And after you finish that application, you get an email with a link for a 30-minute job preview, where you'll learn about your role at Amazon and final steps before your first day. No travel is required. After you get your job application done, after you've seen that job preview, you attend what we call office hours. And this says here on the screen 20-minute office hours. We need to really let you know it could be up to 30 minutes. 20 minutes is our goal, but a lot of people do get through in 30 minutes because they have to take the drug test over for whatever reason. So I'd rather bring that up to you, that it could be up to 30 minutes. And that's why if you choose like a 4 to 4:30 appointment, that's why you're choosing that 30-minute appointment, because if you come at 4 o'clock, it'll last from 4 to 4:30 under most circumstances. Thirdly, you complete a online new hire orientation. That is a paid training. So about 2 to 3 days before your start date, you will receive an email from KNET, or what we call virtual new hire orientation, with instructions for your online new hire orientation. That is a paid training. I always recommend people have that done before they show up for day one. You show up for your first day without it being done, they're not going to turn you away, but you're going to be spending time on site going through 3 to 4 hours of a virtual new hire orientation while everybody else is getting trained, and you're losing a lot of information in that 3 to 4 hours. So I don't want you to put yourself behind on your first day. I really ask that everybody have that done before you show up on your first day, because it benefits you, because not only that, but you get that extra pay as well as your first day pay. Then after you complete that online new hire orientation, you do have your first day. You'll receive an email with scheduled details. And when you arrive to your first day at Amazon, you'll dive deeper into the details of your work and learn important safety rules to keep you and your teammates safe. So if you don't find a shift that meets your expectations, you can always complete the application process and wait for the shift that works for you. We've had people that have come in that say, hey, I've got this shift I picked, really don't want this shift. I don't have any intention of actually following through on this shift. Am I going to be okay? and we'll go ahead and just process them. We'll get their drug test done. We'll get their background check done. We'll get their I-9 finished and completed. Now everything is perfectly on file. So when they call candidate support a little bit later on in the process and say, hey, I really don't want this position, but I saw this one pop up. Can you put me into that position? Amazon customer support can put you into that new position. You don't have to come back through because everything has already been done. So it is a very easy process, a very streamlined process for everyone. So you can also sign up for the job alerts via email by texting STL now to 77088. And jobs are always posted at the end of each week. So I always encourage people, if you're getting frustrated because you're not seeing any jobs popping up throughout the week that you're wanting, Friday nights and Saturday mornings are a great time to check for new jobs, because that's when the new job orders actually come out. Next slide, please. So what are Amazon jobs like? We have a very relaxed dress code that allows comfort at work. We get to dress how we want to dress. We just ask that people are reasonable in their dress and that they're comfortable, but they're not so comfortable that it becomes dangerous. So if somebody's wearing, say, like a sweatshirt, and the sleeves come down past their fingertips, that's not the best thing to be wearing here in a warehouse, because it could get caught in some equipment. So a relaxed dress code, but not unsafe. You're going to be standing or walking for 4 to 10 hours a day, depending on your shift. I guarantee if you have a 10-hour shift, you're going to be standing or walking for a good majority of that time. Or if you have a reduced time shift that's 12 hours a day, you're going to be standing or walking a good majority of that time. We always want to be up front and honest with people about this. Is this warehouse position that we're hiring for, and there's going to be a lot of walking, a lot of standing, reaching, lifting up to 49 pounds with or without reasonable accommodations, all kinds of different movements going on here at Amazon. You'll also learn how to operate powered industrial trucks, and that's dependent on building. So in other words, if you go to STL 6, for example, where I'm at right now, here in Edwardsville, Illinois, that is our extra large center. So people here have to operate pit, and they pretty much operate pit all day long, powered industrial trucks all the day long here at STL 6. So next slide, please. Typical shift schedules. There's always going to be part-time and full-time shifts. They usually come together. They're kind of almost in a package when they get released. It's always going to pretty much include one weekend day. So our shifts typically run like a Sunday through a Wednesday or a Wednesday through a Saturday. Everybody pretty much has to work at least one weekend day. Every once in a while, a shift does come through that's Monday through Friday, but that's very few and far in between. So really expect to work Sunday through Wednesday or Wednesday through Saturday. Most of our buildings are open 365 days a year, and you do get double pay if you are scheduled to work on a holiday. Next slide, please. So how do I select my schedule? Pick your schedule for the next week for the school accommodations. You're going to be using the Amazon Moment app when you're looking for a school accommodation. That's a flex shift, what we call a flex shift. You can pick between 20 to 25 hours per week. But again, you can also choose that full-time shift as well, and then have HR work around your schedule. So let's go to the next slide, please. Military, I'm very excited for military. Laura Lukens is our military liaison here in St. Louis area. Next slide. And with the military, Jeff Bezos is on record as saying, we actively seek leaders who can invent, think big, have a bias for action, and deliver results on behalf of our customers. These principles look very familiar to men and women who have served our country in the armed force, and we find their experience leading people is invaluable in our fast-paced work environment. Next slide. So we want you to jumpstart your post-military career. If you do have a military career and you want to go to the next level and you're getting into civilian life, or you know of anybody that's getting into civilian life, we really want to jumpstart that post-military career for them with a company that values their service and invests in their future. And your military experiences can lead to career growth opportunities here at Amazon. When you demonstrate proficiency in a certain area, you can move up very quickly here at Amazon. I just got an email about a week ago in which there was a 50-year-old gentleman who lost his job, was having a huge amount of time and trouble trying to find a new career. Nobody was really calling him for even an interview. He was getting very, very frustrated. He decided to give Amazon a try. He worked on the floor, and that was 3 years ago. And just 3 years later, he's now a senior operations manager here at Amazon. So the sky truly is the limit, and you truly can just boost your career here at Amazon. And there's plenty of opportunities You can go up, you can go sideways, you can go diagonally, move on different teams, learn brand new skills, and really do whatever you want to do here at Amazon. There's a huge range of jobs that meet your needs and your goals, your career goals. Next slide, please. So Amazon understands, experiences, appreciates, excuse me, the skills and experiences you've gained from the military. There is that proven leadership and teamwork, mission, goal-oriented, demonstrate a bias for action here at Amazon. Next slide. Putting military experience to work at Amazon. Amazon Warriors is one of our affinity groups. It's made up of Amazonians who have served or are still serving in their respective countries, military forces, and all who support them. So aiding veterans during their transition into the Amazon workforce, providing a professional network, as well as ways to organize together for community outreach. This is not just for military members either. It is also for military spouses. And through our health programs, we actually have post-traumatic stress disorder counseling for those warriors that might need it, that might seek help. We have all kinds of groups that get together and meet together, both of military members and their spouses, for support. And it is a wonderful company to work for, and it does aid veterans and help veterans at every step of the way. Next slide, please. William Shepard once said, being a veteran at Amazon helps you give a similar sense of purpose that you had in the military. Amazon celebrates its veteran leaders and is a company that's truly proud of everything we've done prior to joining Amazon. So this is a place in which we celebrate your service. We celebrate their service. If anybody you might know, we welcome them to Amazon with open arms, and we really want to make things wonderful for our military. Next slide, please. So who is considered a veteran? You're considered a veteran if you're currently serving or served as a member of the military, which includes reservist, National Guard, or Coast Guard. Who is considered a military spouse? You're considered a military spouse if you were or are a spouse of a veteran, active duty service member, reservist, or member of the National Guard or Coast Guard. You're a protected veteran if you have served on active duty since August of 1990. Next slide, please. How will this data be used, and how can I trust Amazon? I will let you know from personal experience that Amazon does not play around when it comes to data. We undergo so much training when it comes to keeping items classified, safe, and secure here at Amazon. So when we collect that veteran and military spouse data or people with disability data for diversity and inclusion initiatives, there's a strict usage of the data. Nobody here has any type of clearance, so they get to see every single thing that's out there. Amazon will not use any of that information to ever discriminate. Similarly, choosing not to self-identify will not subject anyone to any adverse treatment here at Amazon as well. Next slide, please. So you can apply now at Amazon.com/St. Louis hourly jobs, and corporate positions again are available at Amazon.jobs. And if you have an existing profile, you can log in at Amazon.force.com and be sure to sign up for job alerts or text STL Now 4 to 77088. I want to thank you so much for coming out today. Does anybody have a question for me? What if an individual prefers to go through the 90 days IT training before starting to work for Amazon? Sure, you can go through that 90 days IT training. You can have that certification before you come to work for Amazon. They'll just look good on your resume.
Fantastic. Thank you for that presentation, Scott. And I just want to reiterate, if you do have any questions for Scott, please feel free to throw those into the chat or unmute yourself and ask directly. Obviously, you have a prime opportunity right now to get any questions that you do have answered. In the meantime, Scott, while we are waiting for some folks to add some additional questions to the chat, I just do have a few kind of baseline questions that I'd like to ask you, if that's okay. Fantastic. So Scott, can you kind of elaborate a little bit more maybe on what an individual can include in a resume or anything like that that might help them stand out to land a job at Amazon?
Yes, if you're going to Amazon.jobs and looking for more IT positions, software development positions, whatever it might be, I would highly encourage you to go out there on the web and look up our Amazon leadership principles. Those are 15 principles, it used to be 14, that define an Amazonian. And if you can use your resume and you can use those words and you can get that wording into describing your jobs, describing your projects that you've gone through, showing that you've taken the time to understand those leadership principles, that will put you, I believe, on the fast track when it comes to reviewing resumes. Another thing that I really highly encourage you to do is use a STAR principle, and that means that you need to come up with something that you've gone through in the past. You need to identify a situation. What was a task? Uh, uh, what was the action that you took in response to what needed to be done, and what was your response? What ended up happening? What ended up how did you encourage, or how did you transform a certain situation to go from maybe bad to good using that STAR principle? So look up the STAR principle as well. And when it comes to time to interview on those Amazon.jobs and the recruiter reaches out to you for an interview, if you keep those Amazon leadership principles in your head, you study those until they're memorized, you study that STAR principle, STAR, it's out there in the Google too. You get those two things done, you start getting your examples of things you've done in your job and using that STAR principle, using those Amazon leadership principles, that will go a long, long way on a resume and in your interview.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Scott. Another question that I do have for you is, if folks do have any questions regarding the application process or anything like that, where would you direct them to for those questions to get them an answer?
I just sent an email to everybody, stlnodewfs@amazon.com. That's a shared email that we all have to where anybody can jump on that and answer your questions. We do this because it gets done a little bit more quickly, to where I might be tied up on a hiring event, but then somebody else might be able to see that email and get back with you pretty quickly. There's also, let me type some things in real quick. So hiring.amazon.com is also a website that you can go to. Your accommodations team, or the candidate support team, is this link here. So that's amazon.com/candidate support. And then we welcome drop-ins as well. So if you're having trouble with an application, you're having trouble with your I-9, whatever it might be, you can come in at any time between 9 and 4. That's our hours of operation. And we would be more than happy to help you as well. We are closed for lunch from 12 to 1. But anytime outside of that 12 to 1, from 9 to 4, we're more than willing to help you at any point of the process.
Excellent information. Thank you, Scott. And Scott, another kind of key issue, I guess, that has kind of come into the forefront now, at least I know at the state level, is returning citizens. So I was just going to ask, would you consider Amazon to be a second chance employer, at least in certain cases?
We are a second chance employer. We've been authorized to say that at our recruiting events. The reason why I can say that is because Amazon is on record as saying that there's nothing really, there's no set list of things that would disqualify you here at Amazon. Everything is taken on a case-by-case basis. So if somebody had a question about something on a background check, they would reach out to that candidate, ask questions about that. The most important thing that I can tell you on that is, number one, to be honest about the situation. Don't hide anything about the situation. Be honest about it. Open it up front. They already know about it. Secondly, make sure that you somehow incorporate the lessons learned. How has it made you a better person? How has it made you a better person at work? How has it made you a better person? Just your personality, getting along with other people. And if you can demonstrate those types of things, I think that goes a long way. Being honest, and then knowing and being able to articulate, how did this change me? Looks like Patrick has a question. How easy is it to transition from one department to the other at Amazon? It is very easy. After 30 days of work, you're eligible to transition to different locations, different departments as well. And we have a jobs board that is actually for internal employees. And it can take as quick as a week to put your application in, to hear back from somebody, and to start interviewing for that new position, to be able to move from one department to the other.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Scott. Again, I just want to reiterate, if you do have any questions for Scott, now again is the time to go ahead and ask those questions while you have him on the line. Scott, just a few more questions that I have for you here.
Sure.
Before we wrap things up. And actually, you know what, I'll hold off because it looks like Patrick has another question there. Not sure if you're able to answer that or not.
Yeah, right now we're offering either base pay of $15.50 to $18.40 an hour is the rates that we're currently at today. Now, if you go out to hiring.amazon.com or amazon.com/St. Louis hourly jobs and you don't see that, I'm not lying. I'm just saying that that's what we're typically seeing. That particular job might not exist at the moment, but we are running from $15.50 to $18.40.
Awesome. Thank you, Scott. And Scott, another question that I do have for you is, are there any sort of minimum educational requirements that folks need to possess to apply for at least the jobs that you covered here today?
For the jobs that I'm covering, that I'm hiring for, the warehouse position, we used to have a GED requirement, but that's now been waived. So you don't even have to have a high school diploma or a GED to apply at Amazon now.
Excellent. And Scott, obviously your presentation was very thorough, so a lot of the questions that I would normally ask you probably aren't applicable, but I do want to give you an opportunity to go ahead and kind of give a summary statement or concluding statement, or maybe a takeaway statement to the folks that are tuning in now or who will be tuning in at a later date.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. And again, you can go to that amazon.com/St. Louis hourly jobs or hiring.amazon.com. And one thing that I really want to focus on is that the sky is the limit here at Amazon. It really is. Even if you are kind of hesitant about a warehouse position, just getting in the door here at Amazon opens you up to a wealth of opportunities. One of my former teammates started on the floor as a seasonal employee. She liked it so much she wanted to become a permanent employee. She transferred or got her blue badge, which means that she's a regular full-time employee. And then she eventually went into HR, and then she moved up to workforce staffing. And now she's actively looking for another position to further her career as well. Just had somebody not too long ago move from the position she was at to actually become a recruiter for AWS, moved up a position as well in that. So one of the great things about Amazon that I can always say is that it sells itself, and I don't ever have to mess with the truth. I don't ever have to say anything that's not true, because here at Amazon, it's known to everybody. I can move up in this position if I choose to do so.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Scott. Looks like we did have one additional question in the chat. Not sure if you can speak to that at all or not.
John, if you could send an email, did you get the email up there, the STL node WFS at amazon.com? If you could send an email to that email address, I can try to get that. I know a recruiter on the AWS side that might be able to help you. John, I would be careful. I want to be careful how I say this. You can't just go to any location near you. There are 2 locations that we do the hiring. So I'm sorry if I misspoke earlier. You can either come here to Edwardsville to 3931. Let me just type it. 3931 Lakeview Corporate Drive. (62025). So that's one of them. And then 4000 Premier Parkway. And that's out in St. Peters, Missouri, 63376. So those are 2 locations that you could go to that we would be able to help you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Scott. Lots of great information obviously covered here today. And I do want to reiterate, if you do have any final questions for Scott, now is the time to throw those in the chat so we can make sure to get an answer for you. A few things that I would like to cover before we wrap up here today. Again, the session has been recorded. So if there's anything that you would like to go back and review, obviously, before you submit an application or fill out an application, please feel free to reference that video. Where you'll be able to find that is actually on the Illinois workNet YouTube channel under the virtual job fairs playlist. I will upload that within 48 hours of the conclusion of this event. Also, if you did register for this event, which you presumably did so obviously to receive the webinar information, I will be forwarding that information on to both Scott and our state partners over at IDES. So just an FYI there as well. Scott, is there anything else that you'd like to add today before we wrap things up?
No, once again, thank you for having me.
Of course. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a great week. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.